Week 6 of the Prep Sports Report on Lakeshore Public Television. Tonight, we get you updated on the latest in girls basketball and our big boys games. And we'll go in depth with one of the top wrestling programs in the area.
That's amazing. Tommy has done a great job with the interviews, and I'm ready to see this one.
All right, we'll have the head coach of Portage Wrestling joining us. All that coming up next on the Prep Sports Report.
Who is the dark afraid of? His name is Tim. When you report a power outage, Tim and linemen like him respond to the call. Text OUT to 444-111 to report an outage. With your cell phone, when the power's out, power is still in your hands.
Crazy week in boys high school basketball, Wayne. Some upsets, a couple of teams of the week. We can talk about Hammond and Lake Central.
Yeah.
Getting it done.
They really got it done. Really good games, played very well this week. And we've had a lot of good ones.
Yeah, let's go to the highlights, shall we? EC taking on LC in one of the top games of the week. Did not see this coming with LC beating a couple of really good opponents this week. Maribel and East Chicago.
Yeah, I know. I was really surprised, and congratulations to them. This young man had 21 and really played well for Lake Central against East Chicago.
Here's your guy, Jermaine Cousinard, out of the corner.
Boy, he can play. He can play. 32 he had against Lake Central.
Here's your other guy, Jabril Harris.
Harris had a nice game.
Backing in.
This is a huge, possible sectional matchup. There is Graziano.
Derek Hobbs the goal. Kind of the no-name Indians here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for
Jack Davis for 3. Put him on the unknown list. Nice drive to the goal. It was Cousinard again. Derek Hobbs again.
Nice switch of hands there, a little left.
Got a little friendly roll there.
That's right. That's right.
Lake Central, one of their nice upset victories, 66-60. They got Michigan City coming up this weekend. All right, how about a little Crown Point Andrean? A special shout out to Sasha Stefanovic, who verbally committed to Purdue.
Yes,
this week.
Fantastic.
Congratulations to him. Waited for that Big Ten offer, and he got it. Let's go to the highlights of CP and Andrean. And we'll get some Sasha for you right out of the gate, Wayne.
You know, Painter was there at this game, and that's when, right after this game, Sasha had 25 and 9 rebounds, and that's why this young man can shoot it, he can handle the ball, and Painter was impressed.
Ken Decker to the glass off the board for 2.
I really liked this Decker kid. I mean, you know, he sat the bench and waited his turn, and now he has just played so very well for Crown Point.
Curtis Jones from downtown, you got to get on him.
Yes, that's right. He really handles the ball.
There's genetics in that shooting stroke
that's right.
going on.
Canelli inside for Crown Point, a big guy.
Winston Carey on the break. Somebody rotate defensively.
Carey is quick. He is really quick.
Decker from downtown. Tariq Dixon for Andrean.
This Dixon can shoot it too. He's really a nice shooter, outside three-point shooter.
Huge road win for Crown Point in a tough environment.
A big, big win.
And they win it 73-61. All right, big showdown game there, Wayne. Valpo and Crown Point tomorrow night. What looks like it could be a big step toward the DC championship. In fact, I think Valpo, could clinch it maybe.
Yes, I think that they could.
with a win tomorrow night. All right, how about some girls sectional semifinal? Portage and Crown Point in a showdown game.
You know, Portage has really, really played well late in the season.
Oh, wow. The charge called on Alexis Switzer after she scores 2. Here comes Portage. I think that was, that might have been Alexis Switzer there, actually. Hannah Pirro to Sydney Taylor for 2. 3 ball. Knocks it down.
Nice shot.
Maya Scheit for 3.
Scheitz had a good season for Crown Point, too.
Alexis Switzer there for 2 more. You know who's had a great year is Caitlin Schaefer. She knocked it in there.
Yep.
Here's CP. Pirro for 2. Yeah, Portage won 2 big ball games in the girls sectional, Wayne. Really, they probably were underdogs in both.
Both, that's right. And not big scores. Portage won 35-33, but they got the job done.
Yes, that they did. Okay, second game Friday night, KV and Maryville. And,
you know, I think that KV came out with a red check mark on their
yeah,
jerseys.
I think so. Maryville and, you know, Jasmine Wright didn't like the fact that they had a red check mark on their jerseys, obviously. Let's go to the highlights. You know, Jasmine Wright's had a little bit of a quiet senior year until sectionals.
That's right.
And if you're,
She's really
if you're a
stepped up.
senior that needs to step it up, whoa, look at that crossover
that
drive
nice
to
move.
goal.
Woo.
That's my gal, Reagan Walther, for the 2, Wayne. Nice pull-up
Nice
shot there.
pull-up
Beautiful
shot,
shot by Stokes. Lindsay Stokes.
She's had a good year for KV. This was a good game. This
Reagan
is the
Walther came to play.
second time that Maryville, last year and this year, defeated
nice
KV in the section.
Nice dish to Brittany Williams for 2.
Nice outlet there. Takes it
Taking
right
hard
to the
to the
hole.
glass. That was Jasmine Wright for
Right.
2. Here she goes. This is we're turning into the Jasmine Wright highlight reel there. She knocks down the 3 ball. There's Figueroa for 2. Maryville got some nice other performances
Yes.
from their bench. Walter with 2 more there. Here comes KV on the break.
Nice fast break.
Stokes for 2.
KV showed that they can play with the Doolin. There's no doubt about it. Their program is really.
What grade is Reagan Walter in?
I
If
think
she's a player. I want to know if she's a senior. Where's she going to school? Somebody needs to start recruiting her. She may not be a senior, but she's an awfully good basketball player.
Look at that. Nice crossover.
Beautiful move. That was Madeline Swart for 2 with a nice crossover. 62-54 though. Jasmine Wright and Maryville come back and get the win in girls basketball. All right. I think we got some Hammond and Highland girls as well, Wayne. Hammond Morton versus Highland.
That's right.
From Friday night. Let's check out the highlights of this one in girls sectional action.
Well, we've talked all year long about number 31 for our Highland, Taylor Steele. She is outstanding.
There's 43, Cassidy Morinville
Right.
for 2. Morgan Rinkema. In fact, the Highland girls said you've talked enough about Taylor Steele. Let's show some of our highlights. How about that? Here's Christian Steele for Morton. Oh, and I love this name. Shannon Tyne Butler for 3.
Yes, yes.
Shannon Tyne Butler. I love that. Knocks down the 3 ball. Here's Morgan Rinkema coming back for a 3.
Rinkema is one of their top players, and boy, she
Beautiful
really.
diagonal pass out for the
Yes.
open 3. Beautiful look by Hannah Hammer. Oh, that's another great name. Hannah Hammer.
She brought down that.
Yeah, she brought down. You know, this was kind of a stunner that
Yeah.
Highland put it on.
Yes.
Morton this bad. Highland wins big in girls sectional. And then, of course, Wayne, the big one on Friday night was West Side and LC.
Right.
The rematch.
The rematch. And Dana Evans had a little motivation for this game.
Which we told you Thursday she would.
That's right. That's right.
If this matchup happened, she was going to be a little bit ready to play.
A little bit ready to play this one.
Let's check out some of the action from West Side and Lake Central. Here's Dana on the drive, hanging and scoring.
Well, you know, last Thursday I said that Lake Central wouldn't let Dana score 40. She didn't. She only scored 33.
Yeah, she had 33.
An off game.
Well, the tempo was slower.
Yeah.
Kylie Furman from downtown.
Boy, can she shoot it.
Boy, and Dash Shaw really stepped up.
Yes.
I believe she's a freshman.
Yes. In the second half, she really helped out Evans, and they had to guard both Shaw and Evans. Boy, that's...
She's the heir apparent to being the star on West Side, I guess.
That's
Oh,
right.
beautiful pass.
Nice pass.
Lauren Smolin for 2. Seen some outstanding passing by the girls in our highlights. Nice drive to the lane. That was Shaw.
Shaw again.
And
But West Side comes out the big winner, 61-50. I thought this was going to be a lot closer.
how much was having to play East Chicago within a couple days there?
Well, that certainly helped. There's no doubt about it. And Lake Central defeated West Side early in the season, so there was more motivation now for West Side to really get this one. But you know, you play back-to-back games like that, and coaches will say it's tournament, so you got to prepare for that. Yeah, but still, that takes a lot out of you.
It does. It does. Playing big games in 2 out of 3 nights, it does. All right, time to feature some Portage wrestling. Our Tommy Williams was out with the head coach and former state championship wrestler, Coach Leroy Vega, as we talk some Portage wrestling.
Portage will take some momentum into the next round of playoff action after getting every single wrestler through the Calumet Regionals last week. 3 straight regional championships, by the way, 9 straight sectionals for Portage, and the man responsible for that is joining us right now, Leroy Vega, the head coach of Portage. And when I tell you, your resume includes 3 straight regional championships, 9 sectional championships in a row, and every wrestler moving on to the next round of the playoffs, what's the first thing you have to say about that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is having, we've always talked about being a team and having everyone stick together and be together. And to have 14 guys go to semi-state, I actually think it's the first time in Portage that we've ever had that happen. So it's nice to have the full team still involved in it.
What does that say about the young men that are involved in this program?
It says a lot about our program up and down from the elementary group all the way to the high school group. Some of these guys in the room today have been involved in all 3 aspects of the program, elementary, middle school, and high school. So it says a lot about my coaching staff and the guys because they work hard.
What needs to be done? What needs to be changed for this team to bring home the state championship?
I think we got to stick together with the 14. Get as many guys as you can to the semi-state and state tournament, and we qualified 14 in semi-state, and we got to get as many guys as we can to the state tournament and score as many points as we can so we can win that state tournament.
One young man who we talked about during the football season had a pretty good year, doing pretty good right now, Anthony Maceo. How good a wrestler is he, and what does he bring to the table?
He brings a lot. When in the beginning of the year he wasn't actually on the team, and then he decided he was going to join, and he came in late, and he wasn't the starter, and then he just started getting better and better. We had some things that happened, and before you know it, he finds himself in the lineup, and he actually just won a regional championship this past weekend. So it's pretty exciting for him to go from not even knowing if he was going to wrestle, and now he's sitting pretty to be able to advance himself to the state championship.
Tell you what, let's say we talk to Anthony right now and find out how a young man who started the season late is now a regional champion. Here's our rap session with Anthony Maceo. Anthony played football, had a great season, got here late with the wrestling team, and won a regional championship. How tough was that transition for you?
Coming in late, I wrestled my freshman year a little bit, then I ended up quitting. So coming in late, it was kind of expected not to be in this position, but I worked my butt off and did what I could. And when my wrestle off came, I went all out and I got the varsity spot. And from there on, I knew I wasn't the best in the room, but I did everything that I could just to work on. And going to sectional, knowing I lost a fouler, and then going to regional, I had a different mindset. So it all just came together, and hard work pays off.
How did it feel after the Calumet Regional, you get a championship? How cool was that?
Oh, man, it was good. I felt good about it, and I was happy, but I knew not to get too overwhelmed about it. I know my job still wasn't done. I got semi-state coming up.
Okay, we got to let you go because you go back to practice. But before we let you go, your confidence level going into the semi-state.
I mean, I'm not too confident, but I'm staying humble, and I'm just knowing that I'm going to do what I got to do and wrestle my style of wrestling.
Congratulations, young man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, partner. And, Coach, let's close out with your confidence level in this wrestling team that you're coaching right now. How confident are you that they can make it past semi-state, get to state, and get the job done?
We have a lot of confidence right now. You know, it's just like anything. When things start rolling and things are doing pretty good, things are going to fall into place. And right now for the team, everyone's doing the right thing. We're healthy, which is a good thing. We're healthy. We're peaking at the right time, and we're just going to take one day at a time and see what we can do to win it.
Congratulations on the season, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
All right, Joe Wayne, it's your turn.
All right, former state champ, I think a couple times.
Hey, he has really rejuvenated that Portage program, and I mean, they have been good for the last, 5, 6, 7 years?
Yeah.
And as a state wrestling champion, he knows what it takes to win championships.
All right, they're getting ready for the semi-state. Let's look back at the regionals. Portage won the Calumet Regional over Maryville and Hobart. Crown Point has a long streak going of winning the Crown Point Regional.
Nice one.
Even though it was pretty close this year.
Yep. Chesterton did a nice job.
How about some girls swimming sectionals, Wayne?
Chesterton, again, dominating the swimming.
They're getting ready for the girls swim state finals this weekend. And at Crown Point, it was Munster who won the girls sectional there in swimming. So we are going to move on to our boys' top 10, Wayne.
Boys' top 10.
Time for the top 10 poll. The only poll that matters is right here on the Prep Sports Report on Lakeshore Public Television. Let's go to the board with the boys' top 10. How did Wheeler sneak into the top 10?
14-4.
Westville got beat. Boy, that was.
That's right.
You fell out of love with them in a hurry.
Boom. They lost 2 this weekend.
Big matchup with City against LC.
Yeah, real big one. And, you know,
East
Crown
Chicago
Point
lost a couple.
Crown Point has a big one. Yeah, East Chicago lost a couple.
Maryville was upset by LC.
Right.
And Drain got beat, but by a really good Crown Point team.
Yep.
Griffith lost to Hammond.
Yep, to Hammond High.
#1 team, and it's not Crown Point.
No, it is not. It is
It is
Valparaiso.
Valpo.
That's
Wow.
right, 18-2. And boy, I don't know. I'd like to go see that. This is Valpo's at Crown Point. Maybe I should wear my green jacket or my half red, half green.
There you go, a little Christmas look. How about the girls' top 10?
Hey, this is the final girls' top 10 poll. You got Andrean finally in the poll, still playing well, 14-12. You know,
Highland had a great
Highland
season.
and Morgan Township, these schools all had great seasons. KV at #5, you know, 22-2, and they just ran into a very, very good Maryville team. We'll see about Marquette Catholic.
And Lighthouse.
That's right. That's right. But we'll see. Marquette Catholic has a tough regional.
And we'll see about the #1 team now in the girls' top 10.
Hey, you got to say West Side came back and...
Did they get a better draw playing the first game against Northridge?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Okay.
I really do.
All right. How about the Little Five for the boys? Wayne?
Well, I really think that River Forest is playing very well. 13-3. Westville.
Is this tonight, River and Westville?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
And Hebron has had a great season. Washington Township has had a good one. Winamac. So I think that it's a solid 5.
Girls?
I like
Little Five? Heartbreak
girls.
Hotel, Wayne.
Yes, it was.
For the Lady Ingots.
Oh, geez.
They were up, I believe, 8 or 10 points in that game.
Same thing with Judson. You know, Judson had a great season, and you know, and they just could not get it done.
For River Forest at home to get beat by Knoll again.
Yes. Yes.
That was a tough pill to swallow. All right, time now for our players of the week on the Prep Sports Report.
Well, I tell you, John Corey, with Manis not playing, injured. He was injured, and I think he's back this week. But he scored 38 points. Coleman had 26 in the upset of Griffith. And
Hammond's coming on,
Dixon,
playing very well. Tarek
22.
Dixon.
That's right, versus Lowell.
Sasha Stefanovic.
Yep, Stefanovic is I think this game he had 25 and 9 rebounds, okay, against Andrean, and I believe that this might be one of the games that Coach Punter was at.
Our coach Painter.
Painter, him too, yeah, Punter.
Punter, maybe they both were there.
Yeah.
Cousinard, 32,
man, 32.
and Jake Dye.
Oh, Jake Dye for Griffin.
How about some unknown players of the week on the boys' side?
Yeah, we do have some.
Cameron Hempel.
Boy, from KV at 20 against Hobart. Cody Busco from Whiting at 16. And this is the young man that put that game for ECU away for Lake Central. 18 for East Chicago.
Great week for LC and Hammond. Girls' side, Dana Evans.
How can you not put?
Yeah.
She has to be Player of the Year. I'll come out right now.
Yeah.
She has to be.
Way to step out, Wayne. She's only McDonald's All-American. Way to step out.
33 and 30 points versus Lake Central.
Thompson, Taylor Steele, also a Player of the Week. And a Jasmine Wright, who came up big in the sectional.
And then the Nolan sisters.
Hey.
49 points together. That's not individually. 49 points together against Westside, 16 rebounds. Those two kids are really outstanding.
Unknown players of the week.
Boy, Ando from River Forest had a nice game. Amber, 20 points. And Corey McCrea from Andrean, 16. Vern Rensselaer. This is our Highland girl right here. We have highlights of her.
Rinkema.
Rinkema.
Just saw her tonight.
That's right. And then
Aaliyah Hernandez.
Yes, from Morgan Township, 12 points versus Washington Township. All excellent, excellent players.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Got to get to Wayne's World to get some picks in. The picks you don't see, go to our Facebook page at Lakeshore Prep Sports. Here's Wayne's World. Under the 70%
for last week, yeah, for last week.
The swoon has begun.
Tough week last week for me. It was those girls.
Me too, 0-2.
That's right.
Not good. I was looking good. Took my percentage down. All right, who do we got on the boys' picks?
These are girls' regionals.
Girls picks first.
Yeah, we're going to go regionals first.
You like the side.
I like the side to win it all. I like Maryville in the side to play in the championship.
All right, in Class 3A.
I like, Lighthouse and St. Joe. St. Joe's is just outstanding. I think they lost 2 this year.
Nicole Knesny, which you're not stepping out.
That's for sure.
How about in 2A?
2A section, regional. Delphi is a real surprise, but Central Noble is another one of those only 2-loss teams. So I think Central Noble is going to win that one.
And you'll probably go with the favorite in 1A.
Oh, of course. And I like, Fort Wayne Blackhawk will win the first one, but Marquette Catholic will win it all.
Okay. There's the girls' picks for Saturday. All right. Boys' picks
we'll
tonight.
Just go through, tonight. Andrean I like over Hobart. Griffith gets back on the winning track against Calumet. And Highland over Clark.
And breaking news, the Lowell Chicago game was canceled tonight.
Yes, it was. There was a fire in the school, and they don't have any lights in the Barato gym, so instead of going outside and playing on the courts, they just canceled it.
Okay. And you like Westville
over River.
Over River.
Yes, Westville over River. They get back on the river. That's going to be a good one.
You took Hammond over Bowman.
I like Hammond over Bowman. But, I know some people don't. But Hammond there. Oh, this one, we're picking River. River over Westville, for the check mark.
I am. It was a tough weekend over there. They're going to bounce back tonight, the boys team. Westville has struggled at least a little bit lately.
And this is going to be a great game. Both teams have
should be a
great
great
records.
game.
And
I mean, I'm not stepping out. They're 13-3.
yes, they are. That's right.
And I think you see
I think
Hammond
there
and
was
Bowman.
one more. Yep. I thought you had.
It's been a tough couple weeks for Bowman. I'm going to pick Bowman, I think.
Yeah,
to beat
that's
Hammond.
right. I don't know. Caleb Coleman is not going to be real happy after getting 26
This
against
is a tough
Griffith.
call. This is a tough call. Bowman was playing very well early in the season.
Yep.
They struggled after the suspension.
Right.
But let's see if they bounce back tonight. Hammond is flying high. They might come back down. All right.
I'll tell you, this is a lot of good games this week. Get out to the regionals. Get out there and support the
get
girls.
out to the wrestling semi-state on Saturday at East Chicago, as we're going to have a lot of wrestlers punching their ticket to the state finals. That's Saturday at East Chicago, and a lot of great girls and boys basketball coming up this weekend. We will have another edition of the Prep Sports Report coming your way next Thursday night at 7 on Lakeshore Public Television. Good night.
Who is the dark afraid of? His name is Tim. When you report a power outage, Tim and linemen like him respond to the call. Text OUT to 444-111 to report an outage. With your cell phone, when the power's out, power is still in your hands.